Thank you. So, hello from my side. I'm really happy to be here. So thank you, Marietka, for applying this project firstly, and then organizing the conference, of course, and to my colleagues. I will try to speed up a bit so that we catch the timeline. I am, this is better, right? Yeah, thanks. I'm a bit on the clock person. I like to be on time. I applied the paper Animals as Stereotyping and Characteristic Element in Slovenian Short Folklore Forms. It's very wide title of presentation. Of course, it would be almost impossible. It would be a topic for the whole book, not only for the presentation. So as you will see in the following, I narrowed it a bit down. As a starting point, my paper sticks mostly to this language and culture linkage. It goes from the language into culture and from the culture to the language and so on. So starting point definitely is that language is a means of communication in everyday and social contexts. And we observe and think about the world as through language. We express ourselves with language, whichever language that is, even the language of deaf people, sign language and so on. And words are carriers of meanings embedded in a social context. So they do not get the meaning on its own as itself. And important thing is that even for this presentation, so remember it, let it stick in your mind, language is also one of the most important elements of socialization. So as a Slovenian anthropologist said, and it's not something new that he said, it is quite common in language and cultural studies, language is not only a means of communication, it is a fundamental building block of our mental, emotional, and social world, which cries out for a better one, of course. We'll wait and talk about it. And our language actually is full of stereotypes. So that's why I grabbed a bit of this topic, beginning with Lippmann, although Lippmann used this definition in a bit different context. It is, we are told the world before we see it. We imagine most things before we experience them. And those preconceptions, less education has made use actually aware, govern deeply the whole process of perception. And they are transformed into stereotypes, which are conventional idea of what an X looks like or act or is. And these stereotypes, the system of stereotypes, give people the feeling of security and adaptation. Their role is not to help to know the truth in an intellectual manner, but to prolong one's life and make it easier. And that's why, because of the stereotypes, because of the way how language is used, language also reflects how we construe the world, reality, and society. The meaning of a given expression reveals not only the inherent properties that reside in the entity or situation, but mostly our human subjective control of it. So, language, and not to forget, of course, about the metaphor, which is also very important in the topic of the stereotype, because metaphor is, of course, a figure of speech that describes an object or action in a way that isn't literally true, but helps explain an idea or make a comparison. And taking a bit wider into everyday language, we have many conceptual metaphors. which are like theories of buildings, or love is a journey, or life is a path. And then there's a question, are we having a conceptual metaphor in our material? We will talk about the human being is an animal. I focused my research on short folklore forms, not to all the genres, because short folklore forms are, and even prayers, all good. I actually focused for this presentation on more everyday language. That means that I skipped every, to put it in a very strict way, all the ritual genres like riddles, like incantations, prayers, and so on. So we are talking about everyday language today. And I added also nicknames. Nicknames are not part of short folklore forms, but they are part of folklore, right? Especially as you will see a bit further, they're not only on the metaphorical level of expression, but for example, insults for inhabitants of the neighbor city. Those insults actually fit into folklore already because they go through the centuries and so on and so on. So, I tried to look into the material if I take the different fields. From ethnolinguistics, I took the stereotypes. From the semiotics, I was observing these units as signs. That means that proverb as a whole was a sign, as well as one word inside was a sign. And of course, they are full of metaphor, metonymy, personification, and parallels. Okay, so now I will go to the material. I will stop theorizing, although I would like to read something before I tell a bit more about next slide. Animals in short folklore forms are presented as a stereotype, that is, generalized image of the phenomena expressed in a word. The stereotype is defined as the cognitive function of linguistic science that of representing symbolically extra-linguistic objects and phenomena. It presents both when the objects belong to the real world and when they are intentional entities, images of culture which constitute the second reality. Stereotype is inevitably linked with generalization, which are governing also policy, inferences, patterns, novel metaphorical language, and patterns of semantic change, of which all of them are the ground base for the system of conventional conceptual metaphor, which I'm putting under the question mark, the conceptual metaphor, human is an animal. So the first slide actually has units which have been discussed in some other conferences already, and articles are to be published just in a few months. And I'm just mentioning this. It is bear, wolf, fox, lynx, all these predators, big predators except the fox. And I have to say that there, of course, the bear and the wolf are quite often in folklore, while lynx is really rarely used. For example, in Slovenian material, only one proverb is having lynx as an element, and even that one, I think it came from German language. The stereotype, if someone is a bear, it goes mostly on the outlook, the strong and big person, maybe even hairy, and the wolf is more on its on the person acting. If someone is a wolf, he or she is usually loner. Fox is usually wolf, and it is cunning as a fox on the one hand, and on the other hand, it might be very similar to cat, which is very appealing woman-like. this woman is really a true fox or true cat, but it means also that this woman is witty. Lynx is used only to be angry as a lynx. Birds are cunning. Mouse, nice, actually have different connotations, but of course, nice mouse is a thief. In riddles, the characteristics of small is very often used, and as a phrasing, to be quiet as a mouse is usually used. These animals, wild animals, can be also said as they have a linkage with domestic animals, like bear and ox, to be strong as a bear, or to be strong as an ox, or fox and donkey. Fox or donkey step only once on the ice. And wolf and donkey, which surprises, where wolf or donkey lies, leaves its fur. I have to tell you that wolf does not leave its fur. That's like scientifically, it does not change the fur. So this is the material. Now we are going to the material that I really wanted to show you. It goes on calling names for different, either it is insults or praising words. Mostly they're insults, sadly, you will see, and the stereotypes that they carry. So here we have cow, ox, and bull. And in cow, is usually, it is used in low language. If someone is a cow, usually cow is a woman, and it's very stupid, and an educated woman. I suppose it is quite often also in other languages to call someone, some woman a cow, and it is insulting. To have eyes like a cow, on the other hand, is quite praising because the eyes are big and with long lashes. There are, of course, bull and ox, and the stereotype on a person that is called bull and an ox is, as you see, that man who is physically very strong, but his intelligence is not very high. Also, I must say that in a way, when we, of course, interpret proverbs, the similarity could be found, and this strain of ox and bull can be found also in a proverb. Snake in a grass kills also a bull. So bull is very strong animal. You cannot kill it. It's like super strong, but snake can kill it. We will get also to the snake. Then there's a donkey. I put here so because stereotypical image is one, and the other is, of course, then this mocking, which image, which is actually somehow interpretation from the society that the donkeys are quite goofy and stupidish, and they're very, very stubborn. They change their fur, but they remain stubborn. If there is a proverb, and even images from nowadays, you can see that supported. There is a pig, of course, and a pig is for a person, it's insult to call a man pig. It is a horny, aggressive man. And in the dictionary, there's an example: old pig corrects her again, for example. And there's a careless pig, prashichna mar. We have even like pig careless. We changed the word, so it's emphasized how careless this pig, this person is. We have goat and sheep also as insults. Goat is stupid. There's also an insult, goatish goat. And stupid goat, and for a male, it's also that it's a horny man. The old goat does not give her peace, is the example. While sheep, you can see here two kinds of sheep. The upper ones are from Bovec, and the lower ones are from Solčava. It's a unique breed from Slovenia. It's, on the other hand, expressive expression for conscientious, obedient man, like he was conscientious sheep all of his life. Or, on the other hand, to be a black sheep is something that steps out from the majority. With the sheep metaphor, I would like to emphasize the Bible. Of course, it has huge influence, similarly as the snake. The image is linked there. For all these animals that I mentioned now, so goat, pig, donkey, cow, ox, and bull, they're all insults. These animals are perceived as stupid, and we take these insults quite carelessly in everyday language, even I do, and I have some reflection on my language use. But what I wanted to show here with these animals, and unfortunately I will have to stop here if I want to remain the schedule, is that we use these insults as euphemisms, not really, like there are even socially taken, of course, worse insults. But we use these ones as euphemisms. At the same time, we do not acknowledge that when we say, I don't know, your teacher is a real cow to our child, we tell to the child that this animal is stupid. And we have this pejorative language about animals. So I would just emphasize that, yes, it is probably so, because these animals had to follow the man's orders. They were really obedient. They did not have their own will or could not force it. And because they were so obedient, and there had to be told so many times that they moved themselves or something, because they were huge animals and could not just drag them and they go somewhere, that people consider these animals as stupid. So, on the other hand, language teaches again next generations the stereotypes on the animals. That's a fact. Okay, just the quick ones. A stereotype on the bird, it is rather the one where the swallow is, right? The second bird there up, the weird one, it is closure. I don't know the word in English. I'm sorry. It's actually almost extinct bird. It's really not beautiful. We cannot say it's a beautiful bird, right? But it's really rare. And in the manner of this conference, I must say that it happened so a year or two ago that there was one closure, some sports hunter hit it, bird died. And it's prohibited to hit these birds, of course, to kill these birds. But there were no reaction from anyone. Why? Because it's an ugly bird. So we can question ourselves why, if a bear is killed, we are so concerned about it. But when closure is killed and it's on the extinction road, we are not that touched. Anyhow, we have a hen, which is confused animal. If we walk like a hen, we go up and down and round, and we repeat ourselves as a parrots. That is a stereotype. And of course, about stereotypes about cats and dogs, which is nowadays, they're cute furry animals. But, and if you ask me, stereotype of a cat nowadays is this shepherd dog, or maybe this black cat, we can say. But in folklore material, for example, dog, it does not have a positive connotation. Only nowadays we can see dog is a man's best friend, but it wasn't. Dog was the one that was evil. Dog was the one that was hungry. that wanted to trick us. Only bad connotations were linked with dog in proverbs. On the other hand, about how much harmful can dog be? You can see my dog here. Her name is Athena, the black one there, and on the picture when she lies on her bed with all fours around. So I wouldn't say it's a threatening animal at all. I have to skip the snake because I'm really late, but we have also louse in need, which are very often used in the name calling or insults of inhabitants, like dolmen louse or cockroaches from Upper Carniola, or flies from Godovice and and mice and rats from other villages. And in Ljubljana, they call us frogs or froggish people. Why? Because there was a swamp in a part of Ljubljana, and it still resonates, this swampish area, that we are frogs. This is one reason. The other reason is we have the word kai, it is what, and we shorten and transform it into kwa. It's like quack, quack, kwa. It's like this. And positive nicknames are linked only in Slovenian general language to bees and ants, who are obedient and very working. So you're good as an ant or good as a bee. These are the only two animals where there is emphasized that someone really is good at its working, it's fast, it's thorough, and so on. And of course, kitten for our children. You're my little kitten, for example. The characterizing process can be seen also from this proverb from our archive. If you're good as a bee, hardworking as an ant, loyal as a dog, people call you a donkey. Thank you.